If you're feeling burnt out right now and you don't have the energy or time to dedicate to recovery, then this video is for you. For so many of my clients are always on the move, always on the go, and always spinning so many plates. They have no issue turning up to the gym, hammering their training, managing long days in the office, and even supporting their family and having a busy social life. But when it comes down to recovery, they often find that they run into little brick walls, little barriers, we could call them. And this causes, over time, burnout, fatigue, and a chronic state of just feeling not at optimal performance. So today in this video, I'm going to run through 5 little strategies that you can put into your life that my clients run through every single week to keep them thriving across the board, recovering extremely well, and without spending hours every single week getting massages, stretching, or going for saunas and ice baths. So lads, habit number 1 would be to prioritize your sleep. This is absolutely crucial. And you see so many guys talking about this across the board right now. Big Huberman Lab is always preaching why good quality sleep is going to be the biggest catalyst to your overall performance across the board. So I would recommend, boys, aim for 8 hours of sleep per night, because that's going to give your body and mind the optimal amount of time to flush fatigue, regenerate, and put you in a prime position so your morning readiness is in the best spot possible for every given day. When it comes to actually having quality sleep though, this is what we need to think about, right? When do you actually wake up in the morning? For me personally, I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm just one of those guys. I'm a morning lark, I think they call it. So I have to subtract 8 hours from that. So I need to actually be in bed for 8 p.m. latest if I'm going to get the best quality sleep possible. And when it comes to actually having a good quality sleep, there's a couple of factors I would consider, right? So in the evening, before you go to bed, make sure 45 minutes before you switch off, get into bed, that you're getting off your phone completely. 45 minutes away from screens. And let's say, guys, if you are on your screens, we get it, you're busy, you might have emails to respond to, messages to get back to, deals to close, whatever it could be. Make sure you're wearing blue light blocking glasses. That way you'll stop the stimulus from the blue light causing your body to stay in a sympathetic state. We want to be in parasympathetic state, which is a rest and recovery state of being. That way your physiology knows that it's going to be wind down time. So you can start relaxing, you can start yawning, you can start switching off. And I know this fine all too well. The minute I put my blue light blockers on, I just start yawning straight away. I just do. And that stops that signal from blue light, which naturally occurs from the sun, which gives your body that signal that it's still daytime, stay up motherfucker, stay awake. When you put those blue light blockers on, it will cause your body to just register that, you know what, it's time to relax, time to switch off, which is going to be absolutely key. Then from there, I would make sure you have a nice warm shower and actually clean yourself. There's nothing worse than going to bed when you're feeling a bit sticky, a bit sweaty. You might have been cooking up in the office all day, and your inner thighs, your armpits just might be a little bit ripe. So you want to be getting a nice, good, warm shower prior to bed, because when you get that warm shower, clean yourself, it just signals it's time to chill. So when you come out the shower, body temperature will drop, and you just want to get all cozy, you'll want to get to sleep. So the blue light blocker's on, nice, warm, relaxing shower, cleaning yourself, getting into bed, and then from there, I would recommend using a silk eye mask. This is not some girly pamper yourself kind of thing to do, but it's just about getting away from any light exposure. So blackout blinds, eye mask on, and literally turning your surroundings off completely. So there's no external light coming in to your eyes, because that's the main thing we want to do, is just get away as much light from our eyes as possible in the nighttime. That way your body's going to be like primed to actually fall asleep. Things I would also consider based upon my own habits. So it would be like, right, we've got the blue light blockers on, we're having that nice warm shower, we're getting into bed, eye mask is coming on. I quite frankly like to put my AirPods on, right? I do all my reading in the morning, so I don't do it in the evening. I'm generally spent come the end of the day. So I put my AirPods in and I just listen to something that is fairly new on, something relaxing, something that's just like a fairly chill podcast, nothing too exciting with loads of noises and laughter and all that kind of stuff, just something chill. My mind can just get caught in a conversation. Joe Rogan's probably my best one to listen to be honest. And I just listen. I just tune in, listen, relax, and I just fall into a nice deep sleep. But those are some tips to just quickly put you in a better spot for relaxing in an evening. I would also recommend a couple of supplements as always. Before you go to bed at night, magnesium biglycinate is going to be absolutely key to allow your body to flush fatigue so you wake up in the morning a little bit fresher. So those are just a couple of wee tidbits I would recommend, because if your sleep is prime, Everything else, your willpower for the next day, your nutrition for the next day, your training performance, your performance in meetings is just going to be so bang on. So make sure you're looking after your sleep, lads. Habit number 2, lads, would be active recovery. So I like the idea of micro dosing, stretching and walking throughout my day. Let's say, for example, you're quite stiff. You're on a desk all day. You're getting that kind of tight way across the top line of your shoulder blades. Your hips are getting a little bit stiff. I would recommend every 60 minutes or every 55 minutes, that would be, to get up off your chair, just run through some basic mobility. And imagine you've done this 5 days a week for the entire year. You would most likely start reversing years of damage, years of build-up of stress and tight joints and muscles, and even just jumping on a foam roller and stretching at the back and opening up your kind of shoulder blades and stuff. It's just going to make you feel so much better. It's going to free up your posture. It's going to give you energy. It's going to flush fatigue around the body and just allow more recovery to take place. And on top of that, if you're microdosing it, I would also microdose some walking. So I like to go for 10-minute walks every 90 minutes. I've got a walking treadmill in my lounge, and it's easy just to hop on, put a podcast in, or even open a window and just go for a little 10-minute walk. Get some fresh air without even leaving the house. Because sometimes we all know what it's like. You know you need to be fucking going walks, but you don't want to leave your house because you have to get a coat on. It's raining outside. You have to leave your office. You might have a quick urgent phone call that you have to hop onto, but you want to just remove the barriers. When people think about stretching and walking, they think it's a massive time investment. But if you can break down the walls, the barriers between where you're at and actually doing the habit, things are going to get easy. Like, I want results to be frictionless. And this is something I recommend to a lot of our clients is like, right, do we have a yoga mat? Do we have a foam roller? Do we have the ability to buy a little walking treadmill? If so, get it done. And in your office, like, construct your office to now suit high performance. Because if you've got your roller and your foam roller and your mat out, you're going to see it every day. So you're like, fuck, I may as well use it, you know? And you can stretch things off, stretch your hips off, your back off, and free things up so you get more energy for your work. And it's like, cool, the treadmill's there. I may as well hop on for 5-10 minutes. I'm not doing anything anyway. And what that does is just upregulates oxygen, pumps it around your body, gets blood flow back in, gets your cognition up to a high standard, and just generally allows you to kind of shake off some fatigue throughout the day, just tonic your mind and body, which is huge. And the more you move, like, motion is the ocean. So the more you move, the better you're going to feel across the board, which is going to be absolutely fundamental for when you're a busy guy, building your business, managing social life and whatever it may be, just to keep you at a really good spot consistently through the day with your energy and recovery. Habit number 3 would be to incorporate breathing exercises. So there's one thing I've been doing for probably 5 years now is bioenergetic breathing. And you're probably like, what is that? It's essentially box breathing. But when I came across this habit, it was through a guy called Elliot Hulse, old fitness YouTuber that I used to watch growing up. And it's essentially just big, deep breaths. Like, honestly, think about how you breathe right now. You probably are a mouth breather. You maybe don't really feel that you can catch your breath. You maybe feel just tired and you're always yawning. Like, say if you're yawning throughout the day, well, that essentially is triggering your body. Your body, when it yawns, just means that you need more oxygen to your brain. So if you're not breathing properly, then if you can start adding in little micro doses of some breathing techniques or exercises, you will most likely pump more oxygen around your body, free up any stress and fatigue, and have a higher level of cognition. So certain kind of things you can do, right? I'll keep this fairly brief because it doesn't have to be any more expansive than needs be, but box breathing is essentially 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. That's one breath, essentially. And you'd be wanting to do that maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Again, we're trying to keep things short and sweet here. Frictionless is key when it comes to results. So we want to make things super simple. So if you're feeling low in energy, if you're feeling a little bit more tired, if you feel that you're just knackered all the time, box breathing could be something that is amazing for you. It could be the catalyst to you working that extra hour. Could be the catalyst for you getting to the gym just because it gives you so much energy back. So consider this, guys. Even go on YouTube and type in how to do box breathing and it will teach you. Simple as that. And we want to start getting into the flow of being able to just breathe through our nose more consistently. You've probably heard it like across the board, like, oh, you're a mouth breather. It's not a good thing to be. So you want to start getting really good at breathing through your nose, because it just oxygenates your body far more superiorly than it would if you were mouth breathing. So some breathing techniques, always a good thing to consider when it comes to optimal performance and recovery across the board, and it will help inside the gym as well when you're not just huffing and puffing through your mouth, focusing on nasal breaths and building your breath work practices in. It's only going to have a massive impact on how you feel day to day. Tip number 4 would be to stay nourished and well hydrated. And you can probably see here beside me, I've got some water, and I also have some sparkling water, San Pellegrino, as always, boys. But the amount of guys out there that have chronic fatigue, they're tired, they have tight muscles, they're not recovering properly, it's most likely down to the fact that they're 1, dehydrated, 2, not well nourished enough. So we have to look at nutrition and hydration. They go hand in hand. Because if you're having, let's say, really good nutrition, but you're dehydrated, you will not be able to partition the micros and macros from that food properly, because you don't have any transportation for it. Like hydration essentially is transportation for nutrients. So you want to be making sure you're at least getting 1 litre per 20 kilograms of body weight in per day. So if you're 80 kilos, you would be aiming for 4 litres of water per day. And a really good tip on top of that is to supplement with things like Barocca and electrolytes, things that you can actually actively put inside your water to make it, 1, taste better, but to give it more of a purpose, right? And this is the thing, you want to make everything simple. So if I wake up in the morning, I've got a big bottle of water, 2 litres, I'm like, do I really need to drink that? But when I put, like, let's say creatine in it, BCAAs, EAAs, a Barocca, an electrolyte, for example, it's going to taste nice. So I'm going to have more of a reason to drink it because I've actually put something in it to make it taste nice. So 1, hydration goes up through the roof. You start actively hydrating yourself properly. You're getting things like sodium, electrolytes, vitamins and minerals in through the drink you're actually having. So again, it has more bang for buck. Essentially, that's going to be one of the biggest drivers of energy across the board for you, because if you're dehydrated, you're going to feel foggy, groggy, and your cognition is going to be completely off. And then from there, optimal nourishment. So making sure you know your macros, boys. If you're not following a meal plan, if you don't have a strategy with your food and you're just eating willy-nilly from meal to meal, grabbing some pastries or some breads or toast and jam in the morning, cereal, it's like if you're running a 6, 7 or 8 figure business but you're eating like an 8-year-old, there's a massive mismatch of alignment here. So we need to solidify your eating habits in alignment with the high performance business you're running to make sure you are operating at peak performance. So habit number 5, guys, is to invest some time in some short-term targeted mobility work. And 2 things that I really like to do when I'm working long hours at the desk, building my business, working with clients, is just, again, microdosing more work, but with some tools. So I get a tennis ball, or I get a rolling pin. It's a rolling pin I use, one that you would like roll some dough with. And please don't get it twisted. I don't use this same rolling pin for rolling dough in the kitchen. I don't. It's cross-contamination. But I'll have that on the floor under my desk, and I'll just roll the feet. I'll just roll my feet out nicely. What this is like a low form of myofascial release, which if you do correctly, you can target little pinpoints of your feet and really de-stress the arches of the feet, the balls of your feet, the soles of your feet, the heels. And this is going to feel amazing, right? Because naturally, if we're in our shoes all the time, they'll have a tight toe box, especially if you're, working a 9 to 5 and you're in corporate, you're wearing a little kind of tight, little tight leather shoes. Your feet are all going to be pressed together, which can impact posture. It can give you knee valgus. It can just cause a lot of issues down the line. So taking the shoes off and rolling your feet out can be an amazing little habit to microdose into your life to not only improve posture, feet health, but overall energy. And it's like, what I'm really trying to get at here is like recovery doesn't need to be hard. It's just about microdosing it consistently. And if you take one, even out of these 5 habits and put them in place, you're going to be 25% better than you previously would have, right? But if you put all of them in place, you're going to realize that it's not complicating your life. It's complementing it. It's just about building them in to your life. Short, sweet, taking one, adding one, removing one, so on and so forth. But that one would probably be one of my favorite ones, because if you're doing 10k steps a day, because if you're training, if you're walking, if you're getting the subway, you're getting the bus, you're out on your feet, you're having late nights, your feet are going to be knackered and you're on your feet 24/7. So it might be worth just paying some respect to them and de-stressing them with those little 2 techniques. All you need is a tennis ball or a rolling pin. It's as simple as that, and just put the pressure on, roll them out. Roll them out. Spend 2 or 3 minutes doing that per foot, and honestly, you're laughing. So guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video today and these recovery techniques, drop a little comment below, subscribe to the video, and if you want to check out the daily habits, head over to my Instagram, Lewis McFarlane Coaching, and I'll see you in the next one. Much love.